All right. Hello, everyone. This is Beastly Eel. This video is going to be based on the latest episode of Moon Knight, and I am saying this right from the get-go. If you have not seen this episode, you need to actually stop the video, maybe even shut off your computer, and watch the episode right now, because there are a lot of spoilers ahead, and the only thing I will tell you before you hit that pause button is the best episode by far, in my opinion, out of all of the Disney Plus shows right now. So phenomenally well done, and my mind is blown. I mean, blown, right? I need a minute. I do apologize. I literally just finished watching it, so I do apologize. So, anyway, the episode starts right where the last one left off. So, we have Steven and Layla at the tomb of a tomb. The tomb of a tomb. Tim. Doesn't matter. Sorry. So they get inside. They him and Layla kiss, and Mark is pissed and punches him and knocks him into the tomb. And he gets kind of hurt, but it was kind of a funny little thing. We see them down there. So anyway, they now realize what the shape of the tomb is. The Eye of Iris, and they were talking about each path was a different sense, and the idea was the avatar is the voice of the god. So they followed the one that was supposed to be representative of taste. So they follow it, and they get to this massive area that looks like a mummification area. And let's just say it looks like they were removing somebody's body parts before they got there, because there were blood and bits of tissue pretty much everywhere. So Steven begins to look around for another exit, and he climbs on top of this area to see if there was something else up there. So there's another mummified body. They talk about a little bit of Egyptian folklore and stuff like that. And now a creature is coming. So there's a sound coming. I gave it away. It's a creature. So I believe it was the cop, if I remember correctly. The cop that arrests Steven is being thrown onto the mummification chamber and begins to get cut up and organs removed. It's by some creature that we're not quite sure what it is. It's just very dark. It looks like one of those like statues that they have from ancient Egypt, just black everything, kind of like rusted gold, armor / jewelry. So they haven't noticed Layla, who's behind the altar, and Steven above. So it begins to start to hear some things, and it starts to creep over to the sound. So Steven throws something to make a sound. It goes towards the sound. She then runs away. It goes to chase after her. Steven pushes this massive... I'm not quite sure what it was. It looked like it was supposed to be like where the body was to dry, I guess, before they mummify it, and knocked it over and crushed this creature. So she went one direction, he went in another. So she goes into like this chamber type area that there's only one path to get to the other side, and it's this very thin rock climbing area. And she starts climbing, and there's a creature on the other side of the wall, and it tries to grab her. She freaks out, jumps away. It then grabs her, pulls her into the cavern. This is some straight up horror stuff going on right now. She begins to fight it. She gets released from it. She broke off one of its arms, and we find out that it's not a creature. It is some dead person or dead magician, worshiper of the Egyptian gods, and it tries to kill her. And she lights one of her flares, sticks it in its eye, and then kicks it off the thing. She almost falls with it. She climbs back up, and Harrow is waiting for her. While this is going on, Stephen is in the tomb of who he thinks is Alexander the Great. So he opens up the sarcophagus, sees all this material, but does not find the statue of a tomb. And Mark's like, what's going on? Where would it be? And Stephen goes, oh no, I think I know where it is. He's supposed to be the voice of the god. So he rips open the guy's jaw, sticks his hand deep inside his stomach. Well, his stomach wouldn't be there, but you understand my point I'm making. Pulls out the statue, and he's all very excited. As this is going on, Layla and Harrow have a heart-to-heart about what Mark is keeping from him. And Harrow says that her father died because of Mark. You know, mercenaries killed him. You never heard about them before, but yet, Mark was a mercenary, and what happened? So she gets back to the tomb. She makes it to the tomb. Harrow and his men find another way. So they are going towards the tomb, but have not made it yet. Layla comes in, and she's distraught, and Stephen's like, what's going on? And she wanted to make sure Mark heard her and asked exactly what happened. So Mark takes over and explains to her that he did not kill him, but his partner did. And he apologizes, but he didn't have the heart to tell her. So she starts to think that the only reason why they were together was because he felt guilty. Slew of emotions. He basically says, we don't have time for this, we gotta go. And I believe he gives her the statue. I don't remember the exchange, but it could have happened. Harrow and all his men come out, guns pointed. Mark has his axe that he stole from Alexander the Great and is ready to do what he needs to do. So he starts to put it down because he realizes that he's outgunned. Now Layla's hidden. One of the men comes over to him. He grabs the gun, uses the axe, cuts off the guy's arm, knocks him out, possibly kills him, not quite sure, hits another guy, then throws the axe into another guy, and he's taken out 3 right away. Harrow pulls a handgun out from the third guy, the one with the axe in him, pulls it out and shoots Mark twice in the chest. He falls into this puddle, and we assume he's dead. But he floats down into this bright light, and he wakes up. Mark wakes up in what looks like an institution for the mentally ill. So we see a bunch of characters that we've already seen before. We've seen the cops, who apparently are orderlies. We see Layla, who is a patient there. And our little friend Mark is chained to a wheelchair. So he looks in the mirrors, trying to figure out what's going on. He tries to get up. He has a little figurine of Moon Knight. Now, the whole thing is, what we see here is a lot of stuff being shown to that's happened in the last couple of episodes. So it's pictures that look like the landscape of where he's been. It looks like he was in a psychotic episode, and none of what happened was real. So he tries to get up. They pick him up. They bring him to his doctor, who happens to be Harrow. Yep, it's getting like that. There's Egyptian stuff all over his office. Everything's white, which creeps me the heck out. I mean, seriously. Anyway, so they begin to talk, and he wants to talk to Mark. And apparently, every time Mark is the one talking and not Stephen, Mark is very triggered by everything around him. Everything looks like Egyptian stuff. There's Horus, there's a tomb, there's a bunch of hints to all of the Egyptian gods, but also the things that happened to him. So Mark begins to think that he's 100% crazy. When he finally focuses and realizes that it's Harrow, he gets up and starts to try to run away. 2 of the orderlies, who were the cops from earlier, try to get him. He knees one of them, and he punches the guy in the balls and bites the other one's hand and throws her to the ground, and he runs away. As he's running, he sees the lights start to flicker in a specific way, noticing that the lights were shaking. So he goes down that hallway, gets into one specific room, and shuts the door. All the orderlies run away and don't think to look in the other room. Well, this is where it gets a little weird because there's a sarcophagus inside the room, and so he pushes it open, and it's Stephen. So now we have Mark and Stephen, and for those of you who don't know what's going on, they are the same body, just two different personalities. So they begin to run away. What we notice is there is a third sarcophagus in another room, and there's somebody trying to get out. And then they open up this door, and there's a goddess there, the hippo goddess, who I believe is the girlfriend of Khonshu, former girlfriend, but I'm not 100% sure on that, but it was a woman's voice that said hi, and they both freaked out, and that was the end of the episode. And I was kind of PO'd that there was not an ending credit scene because I needed one. So, I don't think it was his psyche that broke. I think he's dead and is in the afterlife, and because of that, he is dealing with his own type of afterlife. I think somebody's trying to help him, guide him to a place to get him out of there, but we shall see what happens. We also see the fact that there has been another hint for a third personality, and we have not seen it yet, but we've seen the sarcophagus, and it looks like the goddess is going to help him. So I have no idea what's going to happen in the next episode. This episode just blew my mind because it made me think so many thoughts. Like, was the first 3 episodes just nothing? Was it just a psychotic break for him? Now I'm thinking he's dead and he's in the afterlife, and this particular goddess is trying to help him. I mean, I'm in so many different scenarios right now. I couldn't even tell you where we're going next because I am so just mind blown right now. And I would just love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. I mean, how did you feel about this episode? Because this episode was, amazing. Personally, for me, it was the best I've seen in a long time. Best I've seen just in general. Just, so good. Like, not to say that the whole series isn't good, but this was by far the better episode. Because for anybody who's seen, who knows Moon Knight, knows that episode, when we saw him wake up in the asylum, we thought for sure he was just crazy, and we now don't even have Moon Knight. Like, it's just a lot. So definitely looking forward to the next episode. I need it now. And as always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight because of this episode. But, man, phenomenal episode. Have a good night, everybody.